Back Market, which is an online marketplace that sells refurbished iPhones and other electronic devices, has raised funding that boosts its valuation to $5.7 billion. This leapfrogs what it was worth less than a year ago, according to the company and its investors. The company, based in Paris, raised $510 million in its latest funding round. Leading the investment was Sprints Capital, a London-based investment firm that counts online payments company Revolut among its other technology company holdings. Joining us to discuss further about Back Market is Mayowa Ige, analyst with Financial Derivatives Company Limited. Mayowa, good morning to you. And Happy New Year. Last time you were here, we were talking about dirty December, how it would affect Q4 GDP in Nigeria. You're welcome. Good to have you. Let's talk about the business model of Back Market. Interesting name. How do they do their stuff?
So it's an online platform where they sell refurbished phones, laptops, electronic devices. They basically fix phones and sell. But the thing is, looking at it, they do not fix the phones themselves. They have a third-party agreement with other companies, but they only work with top-rate refurbishment centers, and they vet all their suppliers through a rigorous process to ensure that they have quality products. And so when you look at back markets, you see that there's a huge focus on eliminating electronic waste. And there's their why, if you ask them their why is more on how to make the tech space more sustainable and how to change consumer buying behavior of electronics, right? And so they stock products ranging from old products to new products on their to new versions of products on their website, and they price according to the condition and the models of the phone. And so when you check a phone, they have about 5 categories. They have the worst, the fair, the good, very good, the mint condition. So you actually can see there's a lot of transparency in how you actually buy your phones from them, and they charge a 10% cut on every sale made from suppliers.
There
right?
we go.
And I think
that's where the money is.
Another funny, interesting thing is they use machine learning to match sellers and buyers, right? And they also give when you look at buying electronics on the online platform, you're concerned about warranty. So they give a minimum of 6-month warranty for every electronic purchased on their platform, and also give you a 30-day free trial, so you can use the phone and decide that, it's not quite meeting your need, and you're allowed to put it in and return it. But then they're not the only players in this space, but they seem to be doing a lot of things right to be getting this kind of
$5.7 billion. So wait, speaking of other players in that space, is Back Market the biggest player in the phone refurbishment space?
No, they're not. But in Europe, for instance, I think you might arguably rank them about top 3 in Europe, knowing that they're a French startup. But then they've also expanded to 13 other markets, right? But globally, I wouldn't say that they are the largest. There are also other people doing the same thing in the space. You have Swappy. That one also raised funding in 2020 or so, also showing that there's a lot of interest in the space. You have music, Magpie and everything. But then I think that the interesting thing about Back Market that has led to the series of funding that they've received in recent times would be the fact that their defective rate of their phones is just about 4% rather, which is almost at par with the unofficial defective rate of new phones. And then also the focus on quality. They're very quality conscious. The way they vet the processes for their third-party suppliers is also been one of the selling points for them to even investors. And the fact that they also have that warranty, I think all in all, those things have made the company very well positioned in the refurbishment space and has made investors really interested in them.
So what's the size of the refurbishment space, and what kind of factors do you think? Well, you might have touched on them already, but any further triggers that got us to where this 5.7 billion valuation that we're seeing?
Well, the refurbishment sector is about $80 billion, right? Oh, wow. And it has annual growth rate of about 11% in about 7 to 9 years. But then when you look at the whole electronic space, the electronic space is about $1.5 trillion. $80 billion is just a drop in the ocean, right? Yeah. So the market, there's still a lot of there's a lot of space for that. For the refurbishment sector to grow in the electronic space when you look at it. But then coming to the drivers of the refurbishment sector, number one, I think the major driver is sustainability. everyone is going. We had the COP26.
Yep,
I think
yep.
there's a huge drive for climate change, the need to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and then the electronic space cannot be removed from this, because when we manufacture phones, greenhouse gas emissions are released. And also when these phones are used, how are they disposed of? We're also creating waste, electronic waste, in the way that they are disposed, right? And so the need to eliminate this electronic waste and make reduce climate change has also led to this increased interest in this sector, and also the growth of this sector. And so even consumers are becoming more conscious of how their buying behaviors is affecting the environment negatively. And back market itself also even realized that from their customers, about the amount of people who bought refurbished phones for sustainability reasons to be from about 3% to 25% in a year or something. So there's been, even from the part of the customers, there's been that increase in consciousness, sustainability consciousness of how they use their phones and how it affects the environment. Another factor is also affordability, right? People want to have good products, even especially in the developing markets, for good product for cheaper rates. And also when you look at COVID-19, we can't remove that. It's also led to the growth of, also increased and to push the growth in this sector. Because when you look at it, during the pandemic, a lot of people worked from home. Even people that didn't have personal electronics, they had to get electronics. And also, if you look at it globally, in Africa and the US, we had inflationary pressures, right? There was increase in unemployment rates, and this affected consumers' disposable income. This made people to be focused on only essential buying. So they didn't have extra to throw around for wants. And if it was a need, if I need a phone and I can get it for cheaper, I would get it for cheaper. I suppose if it's going to work as well as the new one, oh, why won't I just go for the cheaper one? So that affordability also drove what do you call it? The valuation
Yeah.
of the growth in the space, and also has led to this valuation that we see, and also the interest of these private equity companies in this space.
Great stuff. Just a minute to go. Sub-Saharan Africa, what's the projection of growth? 4.6, 4.7%. How much of the refurbishment space is, supporting that growth that we're supposed to see? And I guess that market, what does Nigeria play? What role does Nigeria play in there?
The electronic space, if you look at Africa over the years, 5 years, there's been an increase in mobile phone penetration. We have had increase in access to internet, and that has greatly driven the mobile phone penetration rate. We have major markets, Nigeria, South Africa, Egypt, Kenya, that have been the major contributors to this drive in Africa of mobile phone penetrations, right? But Nigeria plays, I think Nigeria is at the number one.
Of course.
On that ranking,
No surprise there.
on that list. But when you look at it, okay, what has really driven this, apart from the increase in access to internet? But there's also, with that has come the rise of social media. People are now online. Financial inclusion, even governments rather, are pushing for financial inclusion. And this has also led to the growth in the smartphone space. But then looking at our economic reality in Africa, Nigeria, to be very precise, there's been depressed disposable income, and so people, instead of getting the new ones, it's easy to get to the refurbished ones to be able to do what they need to do with their internet.
Mayowa Ige, analyst with Financial Derivatives Company Limited. Thank you for explaining why this company has a $5.7 billion valuation. Appreciate your insights.